Hi, this is Marina from Astrology, bringing you a miffed person. All right, I'm just grumpy. I've got candida die-off. My brain is frazzled, but I wanted to look at Nordstream. I thought I'm going to dive in and look at it because I think it will be interesting. But then just before I started to look at it, I got an email because I'd sent out a newsletter, and it was somebody saying that my political content alienated my viewers, and please can you let me know whether you're gonna persist in this right-wing geopolitical direction, or what was the other option, or a psychoanalytic adjacent mundane astrology thing. Well, it's all of that. And I just get annoyed that you can't disagree with the mainstream without being called bloody right wing. I don't think I am. Tony Blair, who's supposed to be left wing, is more right wing. He's more base than bloody Boris Johnson. So this right wing, left wing, absolute bollocks, it doesn't even apply anymore. So it's just a way to divide everyone. I don't know why people have a problem with me just speaking out against the mainstream and they can't look at the astrology. And is being against... All right, I'm trying to phrase this in a way that won't get me banned. Is being for bodily autonomy a right-wing thing now? Oh, okay. Calm down. So that's just who sent me that email because, yeah, sorry, I've probably been triggered. Trigger warning. But it's like, why can't spiritual astrology people just be not... why can't we not be left-wing? I don't want to be left-wing. I don't want to be right-wing. I don't want to be any wing. I want both wings. I want to be a bird. Anyway. Okay, that's my right. Have I made my microphone go crazy? So anyway, so I thought, look, let's just look at Nordstream, shall we? And I did the charts, and what I thought was quite interesting was okay, where's Nordstream 1? I'm going to look at that one, and Nordstream 2. So oh, that's weird. The European Union chart came up, my favourite chart in all the world. So I think it's right wing if you don't like the European Union as well, isn't it? Even though it's an authoritarian state. So anyway, so the Nord Stream, I looked it up, it's on Google, and it's got times and coordinates for it, which is kind of interesting really, isn't it? That they have the time. How do they know what exact time this leak suddenly sprung out? So it's kind of interesting. So we've got two charts, and so I thought, well, let's see if we can try and do it without being political. How can I do this without being political? So we'll try. Shall we try? Anyway, so I'll leave it to you to see if you think it's... First of all, okay, the one on Nord Stream 2 was the first one. So if this is going to escalate into some kind of war, first of all, I will say that whoever did this, I don't care if it was freaking Putin, or Pluto, or freaking Brandon. I don't care who did it, but whoever bloody did do it is an evil bastard. Okay? It's evil. It's pure evil. I don't know who did it, but it's evil. All right? It's. Why would you do this? Because first of all, green issues, you're polluting the Baltic Sea. So whoever did it is evil. So that's number one thing. So the Nords and yeah, okay. So that's that. And now the Nordstream 2 chart. What do we have rising? Doobie, which is the Great Bear. Is it Russia called the Great Bear? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But there's nothing here. See, I was wondering whether Mars was square Neptune, because Neptune is gas. So Neptune is opposite Mercury, and Mercury is retrograde, and so is Neptune. So that does look like lies, and it was quite close to that new moon in Libra as well. But I think the only way what I think I'll do is I'll have a look and see what countries are connected to these charts, and see if there's any there's any because I haven't looked at it yet. I'm just thinking I'll just do it live as I go. Eris is on the midheaven for this one, and there is the Saturn square Uranus as well, and the Saturn is on the descendant, the house of open enemies. But to me, the chart isn't really telling me that much. This one anyway, the Nord Stream 2 one. Except for I suppose Mercury retrograde opposite Neptune probably, but it's not on an angle. Saturn's on an angle, so it's satanic. That's it really. Yeah. So I don't really see anything in that one. Yeah. The other one, Nord Stream 2, I thought was a bit more interesting. Nord Stream 1, which happened at 7:30 later on in the day. And this one had Mercury on the Crow, Algorab, which is fiendish and lying and nasty. And it's also on the Descendant. So again, it's enemies. So actually, the Descendant on both these charts have got a sort of quite nefarious energies about them. So it's an open enemy, whoever it is. And what's rising there? What is rising there? No specific star. Lilith on the IC, which is not no particular star. The only thing of significance really is, I would say, the moon on Algorab, which is really fiendish. So that's the Nord Stream 1 sabotage, whatever it was, is probably the worst one. So anyway, let's have a look and see which charts have the most connection to it. So I'll do that. Okay, I have decided to kind of narrow it down, because otherwise I'm looking at too many charts. So I think we should go, if we're going to define a moment. I know that the Nord Stream 1 chart is kind of more juicy because it's got the moon on Algorab, but you got to think of what started it. And the first one was at 2 a.m. in the morning, and it does have Saturn on the DC, Leo rising. So I'm going to go with that one, because I'm just going to go with it. And also because it's got Ceres in the first house, which is a natural disaster. It's eco stuff as well. So yeah, so let's go with that one. Let's stick with that one. So let's have a look at that chart again, just to sort of, and also with Eris on the midheaven as well. It's got that kind of outer planet Lilith as well, and Neptune in the underworld of the 8th house. Yeah. So then the ruler. Okay. So then the ruler of this chart, the thing that kicked it off, is the sun. The sun. It's a new moon as well, and it's opposite Jupiter retrograde, which is kind of foreign involvement. Okay. And yeah, okay. So I think so. And then the ruler of the seventh house of open enemies is Saturn. It's in there and it's strong. So all right, we're gonna go with Nordstream 2 as the and it's also the more important pipeline, I think. So then the next thing we do is we make that the main chart, and then I'm going to put the nation chart overlaid on top of that, because the problem is if you put Nord Stream overlaid on the nations, it comes up as like transits, which I don't think is very, doesn't tell us that much, because we're all they're all having transits. That would just be transits. So let's do it the other way around. So I'm overlaying now the USA chart on top of Nord Stream, and that's interesting because Lilith is on Ceres, which is kind of two dark goddesses together, which is the theme of the coming eclipse in Scorpio, even though this is in Leo, but it's, it's the hungry goddess. And there is also, I was thinking, there's also the IC of the US charts. These are deep roots on Jupiter of the Nord Stream, but there's not any connection with Neptune. So I don't know what this Jupiter IC connection could be. Jupiter lawyers. It's in the 9th house of foreign. So again, it's, this kind of foreign thing. Anything else? Where is that Saturn gone? Yeah, see, there's no connection with the Saturn either, with the US. So, I don't really, I wouldn't say, oh my God, the US Lilith on Ceres is a big deal, really. I don't. Maybe the IC of the US on the Jupiter might be, but it's not making me. The only thing is, yes, the two Marses, it's the Mars on the Mars. I think that's the most interesting thing. And of course, Mars is war and explosions. So possibly. Anyway, should we just compare that to Russia then? So if we do Nord Stream, is the first chart, Nord Stream, and then Russia on top of it. So do we get anything more with that one? Well, interestingly, the Russian ascendant is 18 Taurus, and that's on the Nord Stream Uranus. And it's the most elevated, it's in the 10th house as well. So, that's basically saying that Russia's getting a Uranus transit to its ascendant at the moment as well. So it's undergoing a revolution, that's for sure. By all accounts, the ruble is getting very strong as well, So it's not really doing any harm to Russia, is it? Really, this thing, which is, it just makes me wonder, they spent so much on this, it's billions. And it's just, would Russia really just sabotage themselves? It just seems weird. But Uranus is quite explosive, so it could be. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just looking at the astrology here. But there's not really that much else apart from that ascendant, which is a big deal. But obviously it does affect Russia hugely. The Nord Stream, the Russia. See, yes, Russia has a Ceres and Sun conjunction at 19 of, that's interesting, of Sagittarius, and that's opposite the Mars. So it is really affecting Russia, and you would expect it to affect Russia because it's their pipeline. Oh, and there looks like a bit of a yod pointing to that 18 degrees Mars as well of Nordstream. Coming from, yeah, it just makes a yod to Russia's midheaven and then to sort of a yod. Anyway, but that's the main thing. That is Mars across to, is making an opposition to Mars, Russia's sun Ceres. And, you know, it is, Russia really has got the food. It's got the grain. So this is an attack. It's an attack on that. But again, does it, well, sanctions, I guess, would count as the Mars opposite that too. But really, I mean, I don't know. So I'll leave it to you to to work it out. But I just thought that was interesting. So let's just refresh it. Let's go back, and then we just go back. Hang on, should we do Germany on Nord Stream, because they will be affected the most. So Germany's charts on it. Anything big? Their Mars, Germany's Mars on the sun of the Nord Stream. So, sorry, not Mars, it's Venus. Nah, not, and then Germany's Mercury on the Venus of the Nord Stream as well. And Germany's, nothing else really. Nothing else. Okay. Yeah, I don't, there's nothing that makes me go, ooh, with Germany either. So Russia has probably got the most interesting connections than US. So maybe it is. Maybe they did do it. Maybe. This is another factor that could be the case. Like, what if, this is another thing, what if it's all a big, they're all in on it, maybe the US is, I'm not saying the US people, you do know that, I don't mean the US people are responsible for this, I'm talking about whoever's pulling the strings above, and whoever's pulling the strings above Russia and the European Union, whoever the higher levels are, they're in it together. So it's like, well, okay, Putin, can you play the bad guy? So that will get us out of that we've messed up with the monetary system and everything. So you play the bad guy, and we'll blow it up so you don't have to, then there'll be no option to supply Germany with the oil, with the gas, sorry. And so there is that possibility, isn't there? They're all in on it together and everybody's just playing a role. And at the end of the day, the only people suffering are just regular people who are arguing with each other and sending people emails saying, I'm not going to listen to you because you're this. We have to question it all. What's wrong with questioning mainstream media? Because I just think it's all lies, all of it. And I'm just trying to figure out where the truth is. And the only way we can do that is developing our spirituality and our intuition. And to be honest, I just don't know. I don't know. I'm just putting other options that could be happening and consider that, Putin isn't our saviour. Donald Trump isn't our saviour. Meloni isn't our saviour either. When people vote for them, all it's showing is that people do want some change, and people don't want this bloody woke crap. They just don't. And then if you're populist, you're this, and I'm just fed up with it. You can't argue with democracy. If people are voting that way, then then you've got to sort of accept that. You know, people are voting that way. Whether these people can actually do what the public want them to do is another thing. Because, yeah, and I don't know, the rest of the world, we have to see what the rest of the world is doing. But they're laughing because whatever's happening in the West, it's not going well, is it? It's obviously not going well. I'm just trying to see if the astrology tells us anything. But to be honest, I don't know if it is. I'm just using it as a kind of tool to see if it activates any intuition in people that watch this. And so I'm presenting it here, and we can discuss what that might mean. You know, the fact that America at the moment, its Mars is being triggered and will be triggered a lot by the Mars retrograde, because it's going to go back over 18 degrees of Gemini. So it is in a kind of warmongering mood, and Russia has got Uranus on its ascendant, so it is in a mood for change and revolution as well. And that's why I'm reading a book about mundane astrology. It's huge. It's about this thick, and I really want to get into it because I'm new to it. So, you know, what I know about best is people and synastry, and this is very new to me. So I'm probably not very good at it. I'm just trying to sharpen up my intuition here. But I want to pose these questions about geopolitics because I've never known it to be so. You know, I know that when I was younger, when people were a little bit right wing, nobody went bonkers about it. And like I said, I don't count myself as that. Because like I said, I don't like the Tory party. I absolutely can't stand them. And yeah, sorry to keep going on about that, but I just hate being put in that box. It's very annoying. Like, everybody's being called that now. So it's just getting silly. Like, Russell Brand's been called that. So I'm in good company, aren't I? I'm going to do part 2 of the eclipses again and see if we can make sense of this world. But I just want to use YouTube as my outlet for this, because otherwise I don't want to be gagged. I don't want to feel like I can't speak out. But anyway, if you don't like this, if you don't like talking about what's going on in the world and the matrix and the control system, my website is totally, I'm avoiding it on my website. It's pure astrology. I'm teaching astrology there. But YouTube is where I can let off steam. And that's what I'm doing. So, yeah. All right, so I'll leave it there. Take care. Thanks for listening. All the best. Bye-bye.